Greetings, I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech. And today we've got a special treat for you. There's a new game in development called Thunderfall. You may or may not have heard of it. And I have the developer, Redundant, right here. Do you go by Redundant, Redundant Studios? Do you have another name?
People call me Red sometimes.
Red.
Yeah, it just depends.
Cool. Okay. So you've been working on this game for how long?
I have no idea. I started it a while ago, and it's a combination of multiple projects that I worked on just to kind of get the idea down for game development because I was interested in it. And I liked all these different aspects of these things that I made, so I put them all together, and I'm working on that right now.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, it's very, just so you know, what you're seeing is very early alpha kind of, I think you're calling it beta, but it's the very beginnings of a game, which is what actually kind of made me want to make a video about it, just because it's not very often you get to see it in this early unfinished state, but still somewhat playable, you know what I mean? So basically this game, it takes place in World War II, and the idea is you're a pilot, and you've crashed onto a sub-island of Okinawa, and you've survived. You don't know if your wingmen have survived, but you know that at least one or two of them have crashed somewhere on the island as well, and you've got to survive. You have nothing left. You've got a few parts of your plane. You've got very little other than that. You probably have your sidearm, I would assume. Maybe not.
Yes, your 1911, yep.
Okay, you've got your 1911 strapped to your side, which was standard issue for pilots back then, I believe. But other than that, you have nothing, and you've got to survive for days, weeks, who knows. But the cool thing about this game that I love is that your plan is to eventually get to the point where you have to make decisions. You've got to decide, do I want to take a plane? You know, if you find one of your wingmen, you can potentially fix up that plane and fly it to safety. But that's going to require parts, which you're going to have to maybe steal from the Japanese, because there is a Japanese outpost on the island, right?
The whole island is an outpost. So,
okay.
If you don't know the full story of Okinawa, it's basically it's like a last stand of the war. It's the last battle of the whole war. So the Japanese, they dug tunnels, trenches, and they hid underground and waited for U.S. soldiers to come onto land. And then, like that, it just got lit up. All the Japanese came out of the ground. They started firing. It was a horrible battle.
Oh wow!
Bloody.
I did not know that part of history. That sounds awful. But yeah, so you've got these options. So you can either fix up an airplane and fly to safety, or you can stay here and gather intelligence and send it back to the U.S., right?
Mm-hmm. And but you got to be careful there.
Right.
You could get seen and captured and killed.
Yeah. And so it's always this question of, do I risk being a hero? Well, and not just do I risk being a hero versus saving myself, but also how much do I risk being a hero and end up having all of my efforts lost because I got captured?
I wanted to start it off early like this because I need input from people, because I know some of these other games, throwing out some examples like Rust and the Forest and Ark and all these other survival games, they start off pretty early, but it's not early enough to set up gameplay mechanics, you know? I want to have people be able to tell me what they need and what they want in the gameplay so they can have that nice and set up. Yeah,
that's a great idea. You know, most of the time when a game hits early access, it's already in a semi-finished state because they're selling the game as is before it's done. And that's kind of, you know, when you go to Steam to buy an early access game, it tells you, you know, to make sure that this is worth it as is, because for all we know, this developer is never going to add another thing to it. And this is before that. This is where, you know, in its current state, I wouldn't give you any money for this. No offense, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm not planning on charging any money for it.
Wait, ever?
So, I don't know. I do this as a hobby. This isn't my job. So,
but, you know, I can totally see like where you're going with this, because we've chatted a lot about, you know, where you're headed with this. And if you can manage to get it to where you're hoping to get it, it's definitely going to be worth money. So I think you should continue. I think you should continue and then go into early access and offer it up. But that's your choice. So I'm thinking that I want to fire up this brand new tutorial that you finished literally yesterday, right?
Yeah, I kind of I didn't I don't want to say I threw it together, but I kind of did throw it together because I'm putting a lot of story elements in right now, and none of them are playable, so I needed to get something out. So that was basically what I did there with
Oh, okay.
that. But go ahead and fire it up and give it a shot.
If I'm not mistaken, it's pretty basic. I'm looking at it and it's
Right.
saying press ASDW, WASD, you know. I'm like, I can do that. Yeah, I know how to ASDW. Why do I keep saying that? WASD. And then the next room is, this is how to sprint and jump.
Yeah. The room after that would be inventory management and stuff, so
Yep.
it kind of picks up.
And then it's crouch. And even the inventory management is fairly basic. It tells you there's a hotbar. You use tab to open the inventory. Oh, you even got the heavy breathing in for running too much. And then there's crafting and a crafting queue and clothing. Oh.
Yeah.
Is there any clothing?
Right now, there's just navy pants and coat and stuff like that, but I'll add more eventually.
And none of
Possibly
that's in the tutorial.
No.
Okay.
But there is like a cheat menu you can use to cheat in items if you need to take a look at them.
Oh, there we
You're
go.
right. It's totally backwards. It's these little things, that
Yeah.
haven't been really refined yet.
So you can't pick up anything when you're holding a gun. No. Pickaxe.
I think you can.
No, you
Yeah.
can. But this bag right here, I can't pick up.
Hold on. It's
So
in the mining section, yeah?
It's in the collect resource section, and I'm betting it's an axe because I picked up a pickaxe.
Yeah. It looks like an axe. You can cheat the axe in if it won't let you pick it up.
Oh, it's fun. I'm seeing all these little things that I know that you'll get fixed later, but it's entertaining to see as you've got like the level of detail for a palm tree here.
Yeah.
That's like 2 feet away. It switches. This is what happens when you get far, far away from items in order to make it easier on your computer. So you can see that this is all beautiful and it's shaking around and that kind of thing. And if I take a step backward, it turns into this static sprite. Well, that's supposed to happen when you're, 100 yards away, not 4 feet away.
Right, and that's that. It's like the, hate to say half-ass optimization, but that's what it is basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's thrown together.
Yeah, because this is super early development, and you wouldn't normally see that in a game, but we're looking at this super early version of this game. So now I'm going to gather myself some stone, and then I'm going to chop down a tree. Oh, are these coconuts on the ground? Oh, no, they're gone.
It's
just graphical.
These particle effects. Yeah.
Yeah.
I coded in for the particle effects, so when you chop down a tree, it creates an object. It doesn't necessarily have to be a particle effect. So if I wanted it to be, it could be a tree. It could be the tree, and it could have a rigid body, so it could fall down. You could have to drag it. I don't know. This could go anywhere.
I think the best tree chopping down mechanics I've ever seen are in Medieval Engineers. That's my favorite by far. Do the stones ever go away?
They do. They take a while. The stone in front of the door you can actually jump on top of and sneak under.
Well, I just barely was like, I just had 2 more hits after I asked that question.
My favorite part of this whole game is probably the building part. I know you like building and stuff in all your games.
I do.
But I feel like this could really go somewhere because I use sockets so they can connect. Could be pretty neat.
I right-click this menu, and I see things like table and walls and floors and things like that. But it's scroll. I get it.
Should have read the text, my dude.
I should have. I was too busy talking to you, but it won't let me place it down. Okay.
It has to be on the terrain, so it's going to be that slightly discolored part where the example bunker is.
I see. Okay.
That's just so you can't place a house on top of another house,
This building mechanic actually reminds me of Fallout 4's.
I've never played Fallout 4. I wouldn't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but the whole snapping in thing and It's very similar, I think. But that's good, because that's actually a good building mechanic for the most part. Neat. I like it. It's getting dark.
Yep. So it might actually start raining inside.
It is now raining.
Okay. Yeah.
Yet another thing to work on.
Yeah, all this giant stuff is in the works. Like, so I'm like working on this game alone, and I'm working on all this different stuff, and it's all gonna be moderately well done until it's finished, and then I'm gonna refine it all.
I was just noticing the text up on the wall there, and this is one of the things that really drew me to this game, is when you're building your house, it's, it says up on the wall, it says, this is a good balanced house. There's enough room for living, but not too much room, as during the game being undetected is optimal. And this is a World War II based game where there's going to be airplanes flying overhead, enemy airplanes, and if you're seen, they're going to, bomb you or something, right?
Strafe, yeah.
Yeah. So you want to have an invisible house. And that's something I've never seen in any game before.
But the hardest part, I believe, in developing this game is making it historically accurate. Because to make a game fun and also historically accurate would be, it's a challenge.
There are not very many games that have really done a good job at that. There are some. So I find myself in a barren landscape and no crashed airplane, but I know you have plans for that.
Yes. I have the model, I have everything ready, just got to place it in and make sure it's in the right spot.
So I now have 10 wood, and that is all.
Yes. That is all. There's not much progression right now. Like I said, the story's coming along, so I'm going to just make it so you can build a house, and then from there we're going to follow with the story, so briefly.
I'm loving, the aggressive optimization is hilarious to watch the trees come in and out.
Yes. It's very interesting. It's really nice. Well, it's not nice, but it's good for when you're developing it, so you don't lag while you're developing it.
Yeah.
Because it in the editor it also uses LODs, so the farther away that they cull out or basically not render, the easier it is to work on things.
Yeah.
Because there's less frame drops. Flame drops. So there's gonna be like a voiceover type thing in the whole game. You're gonna come up in this stuff. Oh, what do I do to survive? What the heck is this? Oh, can I fly this? I don't know. Got to find the other 4 pilots. My wingmen. So we got Jackson, Davis, Adams, and you. So you're alive, I think. Where does the USA think I am? All this. It's like this struggle to try to get back home. And then there's this question throughout the whole game. Should I stay here? Should I gather intel? It's just there's going to be lots of different options for you to do. I'm not going to tell you the ending, but it's like a life or death scenario. Mm-hmm. And if you pick this option, you're going to die or you're going to live, and that's the end of the game. Or you could keep going and you could go through all the rest of the pages. And then there's this point where it's like, I've gone far enough. Why do I do this to myself? Should I just end it, And then there's other options. You found an aircraft. Is it flyable? I don't know.
It's always this kind of this question of, or this balance of survival versus being a hero. But I also like that even small drops hurt you. This is not, you're not superhuman. You're a World War II pilot. You're not going to be able to jump very high. I mean, your jump is, a fairly typical 8-inch, or whatever jump. It's nothing spectacular. This is really a story game with crafting and building elements in it. I think it's fun to see a game develop like this. And you're really open on your Discord server. I'm going to make sure and have a link to your Discord server in the description. And you're constantly talking about what's going on, and you're very open to, when you're having trouble with things and when things are working well, and you're putting out, here and there, you're putting out new versions and people can download them. This is the 12th one that you've put out, right?
Yeah. This is the 12th since I combined everything.
I'm swimming.
Like now. Yes, you're swimming. That swimming is pretty bad right now.
It's there, though.
It adds a large amount of blue fog, and then it should be blue fog, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
Well, there we go. It didn't for a
I had a
second.
problem with it would change to like yellow brown fog for some reason, but I added blue fog and then I slowed the time scale down to like 0.25, so you got the
Oh,
water effect. Yeah,
that's awesome.
just a little quick fix there.
It's funny, you know, a lot of people don't know what goes into making a game. Nobody realizes that's how games are made. You
Right.
I mean, there's no game where the swimming mechanic isn't something like, you know, adding blue fog and decreasing gravity, or, you know, or
Depth of
teleporting
field
you.
is usually
Yeah,
depth of field is
changing.
usually a big thing.
It's changing visual elements, changing physics elements, adding sound effects. I mean, this is how games are made. It is cheating. It's game development is cheating. and
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people that just play games and haven't gotten into, you know, developing their own or modding or anything like that, they don't understand that that's what it takes to make a game. Is you're shaping the world in whatever way you have with whatever tools you have, and it takes piles of time. Even with something, I mean, you're using the Unity engine. I've done a little bit in the Unreal engine.
Say I tried Unreal, and I didn't really enjoy it. I felt like it had all this stuff built into it that I couldn't change, that I wasn't a big fan of. So like the post FX, when you got into it, it was like, this is a little bit too intense for me. Can I turn this down? Oh wait, I don't know how, because I just started. It's like,
Yeah.
I already know how to use Unity. I'll just use Unity.
But the thing is even with Unity and Unreal doing a lot of the work for you, there's still a lot of work, and I don't think people get just how hard it is. I'm looking at your grass, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun to see in the final product, because the grass is going to get so much better.
Right, yeah.
But if you were to jump back in time 20 years, the grass,
That's
this would have been impossible. You know, just what you have here. That's why if you look at games from a while back, they're just flat hills. There is no grass. I'm going to build a thing. Oh, I need more wood. That's cool. I'm going to cheat in 500 wood. And I keep hitting escape instead of tab. All right.
You said you hit escape when you meant to hit tab. Is that something a lot of people do? Because I can change that. So when you...
I don't know. I mean, in some games, it drives me nuts, especially because I'm literally jumping between 5, 6, 7 games every week, and it's fascinating to see the different key layouts. And I could remap in a lot of games, but in some of them, your inventory is tab, and others it's I. In some, you hit the escape key and you can bring up inventory. That one's always interesting. Use is everything from... is typically either E, F, or click. And then a lot of times I think when you're in your inventory menu, most games you hit escape and it'll bring you out of the inventory menu, hit escape again to get to the typical escape menu.
Yeah, I was thinking about making that, because I know in Rust you hit escape to exit the menu as well. So
yeah, and it should still be tab as well.
I'll just make escape and tab also exited. So let's see here.
As you do it live. I love that.
Yeah, no, it's just gotta fix it while I can.
Yeah?
Got time, might as well do it. So some of the textures I get online from textures.com.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's just because I'm not a great texturer, so I'm pretty okay at modeling. The trees took me like a long time, a very long time.
They look good.
But,
I mean, they look good when you're close to them.
yeah, so you can actually there's trees before those that I actually did use off of the store, and they were pretty bad. So those are just placeholders. They were horribly optimized too. So it was basically they were fully detailed or not at all existent.
Where are metal fragments?
The cheat menu.
Yeah, I'm looking. Did I go past it? Maybe. Not seeing any. I got metal shards. Is there a difference between metal shards and metal fragments?
Maybe that was a mistake that I had.
I'm thinking
Is it
it
so
might
you
have
need
been
metal fragments to craft what?
a roof.
Roof. Oh,
It says
okay.
5 logs and 10 metal fragments.
Okay.
And I
Metal
have
fragments. I probably meant to say shards.
okay, lots of little things.
Yeah, it's just little stuff needs to be refined.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a 2-second fix.
Yeah, I just fixed it. So
Oh, sweet.
it's just a matter of going into the folder where it's kept and then clicking on the prefab and then going in and changing the code to say um, shards instead of frags.
Oh,
So,
I'm about to die.
ooh, what do you need?
Food.
Food.
I'm gonna get 500 raw meat.
Good luck with that. You might have to cook it.
Oh, I can't even eat it. Or can I? No, I can't.
You got to cook it.
Okay, I'll do cooked meat. Oh. I can't eat it. I'm also
Really?
dying of thirst. Oh, cool. I can drink my own urine?
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah,
So drinking my own urine. I can't drink
yeah.
my own urine.
Oh, you can't?
I can't drink urine or cooked meat.
Well, you'd eat cooked meat.
Yeah, well, that right. Unless it's really old. And I'm looking at a black screen. Well, you know what? I think that's actually a good cue. Oh, I just respawned in the same location. Nice. Another mechanic to be added in the future. Well,
For sure.
in a matter of moments, I made myself a nice little house. So, oh, with no walls on the bottom floor, but that's okay. I think that's actually a good cue that I think we've seen just about everything there is to the current version of the game. But there's a lot more coming.
Everything is subject to change. None of this is for sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
obviously,
It'll be World War II, and you'll be a
Yes.
pilot.
yes,
Everything else is subject to change.
yes. I like the storyline. Following through with it in code and making sure that everything is right is a big deal.
Yeah.
So maybe some of it will change, but I hope not. I hope I can do this all. I don't usually promise things that I can't do, but
Yeah.
I think I can do all of this.
I think you can. I don't think you've promised anything, undoable.
Yeah, I think the big deal is I don't want to pull a No Man's Sky on this. So
yeah, absolutely.
I want to be able to do what I say and make sure not to promise too much.
Go down into the description, find the link to Redundant Studios Discord, and head over there. Give him some encouragement, but also if you're interested in this early part of game development, head over there and just kind of watch what's going on and involve yourself. Try out the betas as they get released, and tell them about bugs and all that kind of stuff. It should be fairly obvious when you go over to the Discord what he needs and what's available there.
Feel free to ask questions too. I usually respond within 24 hours, but any question I'll answer, as long as it's not like, hey, where do you live? What's your social security number? It's just like,
Yeah.
like where is this going? What is this? What's happening with this? All right. So yeah, like if you want to test the game too, you can come to my Discord, and you can ask to be a tester, and you can come in as a beta tester pending role, which basically means you just have to create a Game Jolt account, and then I can give you the role, and you can play the game and give me actual feedback on what you're playing. So this isn't just for YouTubers to play. You guys can play it too, so come and give it a shot.
Thank you very much for joining me as I went through and played what was here. One thing that I really like to do on my channel is involve the people that made things and not just show off other people's work, but actually talk to the people that have done the work, because honestly, I think far too often we look at the end game for, pun not intended, but we look at the final product or even the early access stuff and that kind of thing, and we think of it as a final product, and we don't think about the piles of work and love and care and sweat and blood and tears and all the things that go into making a game like this. And We never see it in these kind of half-done situations, and you don't think about all this work. All this had to be done. Like it feels like it comes out fully formed sometimes, and then people get upset when something's broken or not all the features are there and perfect in these early access games. So I very much appreciate you taking your time to show us something before it looks good, before it's kind of ready to be seen, and telling us what goes into something like this. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and well, I'll see you next time on Epic Tech.